What would you say are currently the top three either policy or regulatory barriers in the way of domestic decarbonisation?
I think one of them is to do with the spark gap. So that's the ratio of electricity to gas prices, which is very high in the UK, much higher than in any of the other European countries, and certainly higher than in the US or in China. And that prevents us from going faster with electrification, because if electricity is multiple times more expensive than fossil fuels, why should people switch, right? It kind of works all right for cars because petrol isn't that cheap because it's heavily taxed as well. And electricity is being converted very efficiently by electric vehicles to mobility. So you have that high efficiency. So it kind of works for electric vehicles, at least when you charge at home. But for heat pumps or for industrial processes, it's very difficult. And just, I think last week, Energy UK issued a report where they said actually one of the pieces of the puzzle is to shift levies away from electricity and potentially to gas, but certainly away from electricity. So that is number one, I'd say. Rebalancing policy costs is critical. Number two, for the UK, I think is about market reform. So we still see a situation where even though gas is shrinking in the mix, and it's not providing 90% of electricity, far from it, most of the time gas sets the price in the wholesale market. And that's not because we have a specific market design in the UK. It's very similar to market designs elsewhere, but it's to do with marginal pricing. And there needs to be a way forward how we can ensure that gas no longer sets the price so often. And we do that by, well, first of all, moving away from gas increasingly, using maybe battery technology to squeeze out gas in the wholesale market, but also to potentially change the design of the market and make sure that the pricing mechanism is no longer affected as strongly by gas prices. That's difficult to do. It's very complicated. The government is looking into that. But that's, I think, the number two sort of critical issue that we need to work on. And then finally, I would say is policy stability. I mean, we have seen a lot of stop-start policies over the years, certainly in the areas I looked at. And that can be deeply unhelpful because it does not help investor confidence. It doesn't help small startups that have just gotten going and suddenly the policy changes all over again. So having more stability, I think, and taking a longer view would be absolutely critical to succeed with decarbonisation in the UK.